Welcome to the channel. My name is Sam Winterwood, and today we're doing our weekly review of Games Workshop's pre-order releases. And it's sort of, I wouldn't say it's slim pickings this week. There's only a few, so this video probably will be pretty easy, nice and quick. So, as you can see, we've got the main page up here at the moment. We've got the Deadly Alliance expansion for Blackstone Fortress, which includes a model. We have Psychic Awakening, War of the Spider, new Fabius Bile, and a new Fabius Bile Manflayer book. So let's jump into the first one. We have the Warhammer Quest Blackstone Fortress Deadly Alliance. In Australia, it is $105. As the pre-orders for Australia come out first before the rest of the world, I don't actually get the prices internationally, so your mileage may vary. I don't really know how much that's going to be, but this expansion has the Archivist, or a Zoat. I can't pronounce it. For some reason, I can say it in my head, but when the words come out, it doesn't sound right. Zoat. There we go, Zoat. So you get one model, which is, it's a throwback to the 80s. And I'm really loving how Blackstone Fortress do throwbacks for a whole bunch of different types of models. And also in Necromunda, they're doing the same thing. I really like that. I'm hoping that this is a way forward for them to test the ground for various different new models. I think that's really cool. So in this, we get the Zoat model, the book for it, and some cards and some tokens. I haven't really looked too much into what it is. It looks like there's a whole bunch of extra rules, but we have a pretty cool model here. So let's have a look in 360. So he's a bit of a chunky boy. Look at that. Thick. The boy's thick. Zoats are pretty cool. So my understanding of the story is this is the archivist. He's researching something in the Blackstone Fortress. I can't remember exactly what it's called off the top of my head, but So what else we got here? Some close-ups. So there's a lot of detail. I just throw some shade down on here and it's going to look good. So that's really nice. So we're just going to skip through the pictures here. So we have a whole bunch of different maps, and from what I recall from reading some of the preview rules is if you draw like a Quake card, I think it's called a Quake card, I can't remember. Actually, here it is. It is a Shard Quake. It rearranges the map, which is really cool. I think that's a really interesting take on it. And then we have the thing. We also have the special secret card, which is always fun. And I don't know if it's unique for this particular box, but we'll just have to play it and see. So two different versions of the Archivist, which is kind of cool. So you got to earn its trust. A whole bunch of tokens again. So another card. But let's look at the sprue. So he's a thick boy. I mean, a whole bunch of different parts, which you could repurpose for other models. But yeah, it's a single model in this set. So there we go. Blackstone Fortress Deadly Alliance. Single model, $105 with a whole bunch of extra cards, which is pretty good. Now, we're starting to get into the bigger releases for 40k. We're getting towards the end of Psychic Awakening. As far as I'm aware, War of the Spider is the last book in Psychic Awakening. And we have the Fabius Bile. Fabius Bile is returning, or I don't know if he was even there before, but he's heading to Cadia, the destroyed world, and making some new twisted creations. And I've had a look at a bit of the rules. They look pretty cool. If you've been following the channel, I'm not all that up on the rules, but I am thinking of getting into the game, playing the game again from the 90s, the last time I played, because of the Crusade rules. I think that's really cool. Really scratches that itch of the role-playing progressive storyline of your models and your characters, opposed to here's a game, my nameless minions will go up against your nameless minions, and we'll just die and not care. So I have been looking at the rules a bit more, and I am interested in the, what are we calling them? The Agents of Bile, or the Creations of Bile. They're, from what I can tell from the rules, they're a little bit faster, which is kind of cool. And his little offsider, which we'll get into when we get to the Fabius Bile model. So we have the Convergence of Prey, so a whole bunch of background and lore there. A few different missions, which is kind of cool. I think in the previous one, Engine War, there was only one mission, as far as I recall. I'll have to go back and look through the books. I do have the PDF versions of the book. I just like collecting things, so I've got all the copies of those. We have some new rules for Talons of the Empire. Talons of the Empire? Wow. Talons of the Emperor. So some new Custodes rules, some new Sisters of Silence rules, and the name generators, which honestly, I'm going to say it's probably one of the best bits of this series. Some name generators, that's really cool. So there we have the Sisters of Silence. So some new different models. I really hope they expand the range of the Talons of the Emperor. I want some more Sisters of Silence models, but, you know, I think we've only got one kit at the moment and a Rhino, so not really exciting. Imperial Agents. So this is the Assassins. And if you've seen on the Warhammer community site, there is a really cool rule where you can swap out your Assassin. So you can have like an Eversaw Assassin, but then it works out, oh, it's not actually suited for what I need in this battle. Swap it out for another one. I think it's like 1 command point, something, maybe 3 command points. So it's a pretty cool rule. Then we have some more stuff for the Death Guard, which is, I'm not going to lie, Death Guard is one of my favorite factions. And I probably will keep collecting them and maybe run them as one of my main forces for 9th edition, which would be kind of cool. And then we have the Agents of Bile. So even though it doesn't look like there's a lot of rules there for it, it is essentially a new army. We'll see how that actually turns out. I would like to see actual models for it. That's not going to happen, but that's just how it is. Okay, so then we've got some more rules, a whole bunch of lore, which is always fun in there. Some pictures. Yeah, so there we go. We'll go back to that so you can get a good look. Convergence of Prey. It's just lore and pictures. Always love some Death Guard pictures. And then we have the cover. And there is a special edition, which is $140, double the price. And that's Australian too, so it's going to be cheaper. Well, not cheaper, but in your local currency, it'll be a different price. But double the price for this one. I think it's more pages, but I haven't actually brought that one back up. You know what? Let's actually bring it up. So Collector's Edition, 140. What is in here? It has some short stories. It's only 80 pages. So compare that to, oh, there's a little sneak peek of Fabius Bile. It's 80 pages as well. So that can't be right. Anyway, it has more. We'll just say it's got more pages. I don't actually know. Seems a bit weird for a bonus. So we'll come back to that one in a second. So here's probably the biggest thing, other than the Psychic Awakening, is Fabius Bile. So is very much a reimagining of his older model, which I remember, I think from the 90s when that came out. And even then it looked a little strange. So it's still very similar, but it's sort of just updating it for the modern world. And then we have this little creepy fella here getting down and dirty and stealing some bits from the Imperium. So we've got this fella first. Let's have a look, see what he looks like all around. Okay, yeah, a little bit extra detail, but, you know, backpack, bit sticking out of him. It's kind of a cool model. I like it. It'd be good for a, like a standalone, I can't think of the word, where you have models in there, and that's where they're meant to be. I'm having a shocker today, but, you know, we're getting through the day. See, we have Fabius Bile. That's really cool. That's a detail that we haven't seen before on the back there. So it's like this biological backpack, which is really cool. Got a head there, a whole bunch of tools and stuff. It's a really cool model. The cloak, oops, let's bring that back up a bit and make it a bit bigger. The cloak, though, we'll get there one day. The cloak is, I don't know, it's much more stylized. When the original it was all stitched, like it was actually people's skin. I don't know how I feel about that. I think it's fine, but you may miss the old stitching of skin together. So, and we got some close-ups here of the different bits and pieces. Yeah, I think it's really cool. And then the box. There we go. So that one in Australia is $70, which it will be the equivalent of what a normal character would be. Maybe a little bit more expensive. A normal standalone character hero model is usually $60 in Australia. I think those prices will go up with the new releases for 9th edition to probably 70, but you're looking just a little bit more than your normal models, normal hero models. Finally, we have Fabius Bile Manflayer hardback book. So this is Fabius Bile Book 3 by Josh Reynolds. So we've got, as his Homo Novus project comes to fruition, Fabius Bile faces a new threat. The dreaded homunculi of the 13 Scars. Can he marshal his forces to protect his creations, or are the new men doomed to death? So if you are a Fabius Bile fan, probably jump on that series. I haven't read any, but there we go. $40 Australian for a hardback, which is about the standard price for a hardback 40k novel. So there you go. That's what we have for this week. 2 models, or 3 models, a book, and a rule book. So I think the reason for this is we are coming up to the big 40k release. Psychic Awakening, as far as I'm aware, this is the last book, if I recall correctly. And we do have, in a few hours, the announcement of the unboxing, essentially, of what's going to be in the 9th edition 40k box set. And then we may get a pre-order date release from there, but I will do a video for that as soon as I can afterwards. There you go. As usual, I probably won't pick up these models. I'll probably get War of the Spider. I was thinking about getting Deadly Alliance, but I still got to catch up on all the other expansions first for Blackstone Fortress and really get that out. So, if you have made it this far, I have 2 questions for you. Firstly, would you like to see a review series of Psychic Awakening? Because I have all the copies, I have thought about this. If you are interested, let me know in the comments. Or give this thumbs up, give this video a like, thumbs up, and subscribe, and it'll give me an indication that, yeah, you actually want to see it. And do you want to see a Warhammer Quest Blackstone Fortress playthrough? I've played a lot of Blackstone Fortress when it first came out. I was playing like probably an hour every day for a couple of weeks. But I've thinking of doing a new series, just resetting it and going from there. If you're interested in that, let me know in the comments, all of that stuff. So until the next video, which will be a review of the 9th edition 40k box from the live stream, which I'm rubbing my hands in anticipation. I'm a bit excited. So until I see you then, stay safe, and I'll catch you later. Bye.